Welcome back to the Spoonie and Caregiver Live podcast with me, your host, Jordan Banderas. And before we get started, don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss any episodes of the podcast. And let's go ahead and get into today's episode, shall we? Now, a lot of us as Spoonies have felt alone. Now, being alone, feeling alone is hard to anybody. It's hard. But when you're a spoonie, it's even harder. And that's why I wanted to talk about this on this episode, because of everything that's going on right now with current events and everything. The feelings of loneliness because we don't have that connection with others, we don't have that face-to-face interaction. That has gone away for a little bit. We feel alone, especially because of how we used to, go out with friends, have friends over, do all these things with people, and now all of the sudden that has stopped. Now, one of the things that I realized that especially with the Spoonie is that when you feel alone, it's gonna be like 10 times worse for you. Like in this situation, I have a friend that she is a spoonie as well. She has the doctors don't know exactly what's going on. They have done test after test after test after test, and they don't know exactly what's going on. She can do certain things. She has to be in a very strict diet, but even though she's in a very strict diet, that still is not working for her. Like, there's so many things, and obviously she's weak. She has so many things, and because of that, she feels alone. Now, because of her condition, because they don't have a name for it yet, she feels misunderstood. She feels that nobody will ever like her, especially when the guys that she has dated don't really understand what's going on with her, and when they try to do something with her, like for example they want to go out or anything like that, and she's having like a bad day, she can't go out, and obviously she doesn't want to push herself. So the boyfriends of the guys that she's dating, they don't understand that, and they decide to walk away. So that's making her to feel more lonelier. And something that happens in those type of instances is that can obviously lead to depression. And that's very important to understand. Like, if you're feeling alone, it's one step away from depression. Because if you don't or if we don't work towards understanding why we feel alone, that can lead to depression. And obviously depression can lead to other health issues, and unfortunately can lead to worst case scenarios, like bad cases and things like that. Now, one of the things that I tell my friend, because we talked about this, and she's all crying about it, telling me like how she feels alone and all of that, and I understand this because I felt at one point the same way. And I know that a lot of people might feel the same way because of the illness that you're facing or whatever you're doing. I know that my wife has felt the same way, even though I'm with her, but that is fine. Now, one of the things that I tell my friend, and I'm gonna tell you, is that when I was going through this, one of the things that I did. Well, this happened when I was little, so it doesn't make sense now to do it, but it worked for me. So I used to just take naps. I will take naps anytime that I will feel alone, because I was alone most of the time. When I was in Mexico, even here, I was alone most of the time because my mom wasn't there at the house. I will fall asleep, and then I would and when I would wake up, I will try to feel better. Now, this is as a little kid. As an adult now, I had to do something completely different. What I had to do, and this is one of the things that I told my friend that she's going to have to try, or she could try at one point in this case, is that we have to work to love our own company. Because it's true what they say. I have heard this so many times that you can't be alone if you love your own company. Now, when I first heard that, that didn't make sense to me because I was like, but I'm by myself. I don't have anybody else. Well, you have yourself. You have your own back. You if you love yourself, or if you love to be alone with yourself, by yourself, you're gonna enjoy that time. That's one of the things that I had to do, and I was able to achieve this by understanding that the way that I grew up, at least, wasn't the right way for a lot of people to grow up in, you know. And something that it helped me achieve this as well is that now that I'm married, I and I don't want this to sound the wrong way, because I love to be with my wife, but I also like to have my own time. You know, like sometimes you have to have your own space, your own time. And when I have my own time, I like to do my own things. You know, like I like to work out now. I like to write. I like to read. I like to do all these things. And I really, really enjoy it because I'm by myself. I'm learning something. So you can try to do something that you like. You know, like that's pretty much what I wanted to say. Like, in order for you to be able to like being by yourself, try doing something that you like by yourself. Like, and that can be anything. It can be, let's say, if you're able to cook and you like to cook by yourself, maybe you can do it and enjoy it. If you like to take walks and nobody wants to go with you, you can just go on a walk. Obviously, depending on how you feel, you can just go around the block, around your house. Just have that moment where you feel good about being by yourself. And when you find that, when you find whatever you like doing by yourself, keep doing it, because if you feel good about it, then why stop? You know, if it's a good feeling, if you feel extremely good about it, you feel like, oh, I can do this on my own, then that's one thing. But then you can keep trying different things. That's pretty much what I do now. Like in my case, like I said, I like to read by myself. I like to, when I go walk the dogs, I walk by myself. Literally, my wife can't go, obviously. So I like to have those type of times just by myself, because I enjoy it, since it kind of gives me like a little bit of time to think about other things. Like in this case, like, how can I improve with the podcast? How can I do this? How can I do that? How can I do this? But obviously without giving me anxiety or anything like that. That's one of the things that you have to be very careful. Like, whatever you do, if it's making you feel anxious or anything like that, you have to understand that you might have to stop it. If it gives you anxiety, if it makes you feel bad or anything like that, don't do it. Whatever you do by yourself, it has to make you feel good. I remember a lot of times when I used to go to the movies by myself, people wouldn't understand. I'm like, that's something that I enjoy. Like, if nobody wants to go with me to go see a movie, I would just go by myself. I used to go to concerts alone, and that's how I started. I started like enjoying my own company, because I did things by myself, and obviously when I went to therapy, I kind of understand that it helped me create this understanding of myself, knowing that, I mean, it helped me create this understanding that I could be alone and still enjoy it. And that's one of the things that we need to understand. Like, we need to enjoy ourselves when we're by ourselves. And that's what one of the situations that you're going to encounter, especially when you're a spoonie, right? So this is something that you might want to try. Like, you might want to try something that you like, do it by yourself, like obviously if you can, or you can try something that new, obviously by yourself, but don't don't feel like you always have to be with somebody, especially now, because you might be at high risk of everything that's going on, like something could, you might get sick or anything like that. So you have to start learning to enjoy your own company. And that's pretty much what I wanted to talk about today. I really, really appreciate you guys' time. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your feedback. If you guys want to share your story, don't forget to send it to me at the Spoonie and Caregiver Life at gmail.com. You can post it on Facebook. Don't forget to share, like, subscribe, and you can follow us on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, Facebook. And I leave you like always. Always take care of yourself and have a great day.